those big, beautiful rainbows. That's what trolling flies can do. You think trolling flies don't work? Well, think again. You need to grab a set of my trolling flies, get out on the water, and get ready to go big. Yes! Fish on right there, baby. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh, he's airborne right away. Wow, he's running. He's tearing off line. Wow. He's not happy. Can't see as I blame him. Fighting as hard as they are, it's hard to tell if you got a big fish or average sized fish or what the deal is. That fly was about 2 feet deep. And he hit it a couple times. Miss, and then hook up. What a fighter. You know, the water's cold. They got a lot of stamina when the conditions are like this, and they're just a lot of fun. I see him back there swimming on the surface. I can keep him down. I don't want to lose him. This isn't a fly fishing channel. We're keeping these fish. At least we are today. Big old fish. Ugh. But he just came up and rolled in that line. Well, there's that big old rainbow. He must have taken a knot tying class because he had that line wrapped all around his body, around his head. It was something to see. It took me about 10 minutes to get everything back in order again. We'll get him on the stringer. That's 4 fish that I've kept, and we'll hold out for a big one to finish out our limit here today. Got about an hour and a half left to troll, but that's just an incredible rainbow. A couple pounds, probably pushing 20 inches. Just another handsome fish at Lake Davis. That's what you come up here for. And we're really lucky this fall. The weather's mild, the surface temperature is cool but not freezing, and these big boys are on the bite. That one slammed one of my orange trolling flies. Performance, economy, and rugged dependability. That's what my 7-foot 6-inch trout and salmon rods are all about. To get yours, go to the Fish Hunt Shoot Productions store at fishhuntshootproductions.com. Hey folks, Cal Kellogg here. I am coming to you from the Sierra Nevada foothills with the answer to another viewer question. Ricky24, pride of Oakland, California, reached out to us once again with a question. I've answered a few of his questions here on the channel and about to answer another one right now. He asked me, first of all, do you use scent with your trolling flies? And the answer to that is yes. And he asked me, do you ever tip your trolling flies? And the answer to that is yes, sometimes. Sometimes I'll put a little piece of worm on there. Sometimes I'll put a little piece of gulp minnow on there. And I never would have thought of that myself, but my friend Bass Jack Naves, and if you're in the Sacramento area or you read the Fish Sniffer magazine, you'll recognize that name. He's a regular contributor to the magazine. He likes to do a lot of striper fishing, salmon fishing in the capital, and he's always out there somewhere after trout and kokanee. He sent me an article a few years ago about trout fishing at Lake Amador. He was using Arctic Fox trolling flies, same flies I use a lot. But he was tipping them with a big giant piece of night crawler, and he was doing very, very well on those big old Lake Amador trout. So as a result, every once in a while, I'll put a little piece of worm on my fly, a little piece of gulp on my fly when the going's tough, and it does make a difference. But I don't do that a lot, once in a while. But Jack does it quite a bit, and results speak for themselves. In terms of fish scent, you know, the one thing you don't want to do with your fly is put something on them that's gonna glop up the hair, glop up the feathers, and that's gonna just kind of ruin the action. So if you put something like, you know, ProCure Super Gel directly on a fly, it's gonna glop up the materials, and your fly is gonna lose a lot of action. Now, ProCure, they market special scents that can be used with flies that won't glop up the fur, won't glop up the feathers. But since I use Super Gel, you know, 99% of the time, I don't want to carry around a bunch of other scents that I'm just going to use when I'm trolling flies. But what I found is you can still use your Super Gel. You just can't put it on the fly itself. But if you're using, I got a bug on me here. If you're using a wiggle disc or an action disc, you have the perfect place to put a little dollop of ProCure Super Gel. And this is, this is my favorite. This is Anise Krill. Love this scent for rainbows. And I have one of my yellow lead core rods here, and it is still armed up with an orange Arctic Fox fly. Saw me catch a bunch of fish on that fly at Lake Davis, and what I would do if I was out fishing and I wanted to add scent to that fly, I would just open up the Super Gel. Let me hold this up to the camera here, and I would put, oh, there we go. Everything's opposite. It's like a mirror. If I wanted to go over here, I got to go over there. So anyway, so right there's the wiggle disc. I would take and put a little dollop of this right on the outside of the disc. Okay, a lot of turbulence right there, a lot of water pressure there. It's going to dissolve that Super Gel. You're going to get a nice steady scent trail behind the fly. You're not going to get that Super Gel in the, in the fur, in the feathers of the fly. So you're going to have all the benefits of using scent without glopping up your offering and kind of ruining your fly for the long term. So the answer to that question is yes. I do add scent to my flies in certain situations, and it is almost always, got it backwards, ProCure Super Gel. And I like Anise Krill. If I'm at a bait fish lake, I'll use threadfin shad, I'll use smelt, I'll use sardine, and that's kind of an aside point. I like to use threadfin shad a lot, but I don't get caught up too much in the flavor. If the fish are feeding on bait fish, any one of those will work. Anchovy, shad, smelt, sardine. So long as it's a bait fish, I think they all kind of smell alike. At least they all kind of smell alike to me, and I suspect they all kind of smell alike to the fish as well. Now, if I'm at a bug lake, Elminor, Davis, something like that, I like to go with the sweet stuff and the shrimp stuff, and that's why I like Anise Krill so much. One time I was up at Elminor. Now I'm going off on a tangent. The water was super cold and I was bank fishing. I was with my father-in-law and we were fishing power bait. Power bait, it's got its own scent. But what we started seeing was if we put some Anise Krill ProCure on the power bait, hands down, way more effective. We were catching, I can't remember now, it was years ago. We were catching 3 or 4 times as many trout on the balls of power bait that had the ProCure on them as the balls of bait that didn't. The water was cold, the fish were lethargic, and it made a huge difference. And we tried Nightcrawler, we tried some other scents. Nothing worked as good as the Anise Krill, and that really made me a big believer in Anise Krill. And you believe in something, you fish it with confidence, you start using it more and more and more, and for me, proven to be super effective. And when I have it on my bait, have it on a lure, I got a high level of confidence. Wouldn't necessarily use this at a place like Shasta, running with the bait fish stuff there. Fish feed on bait, I'm using bait, but the bug lakes, going sweet, I'm going shrimpy, going with the Anise Krill. Anyway, that's it, Ricky24. I will catch you next time right here on YouTube. You keep watching those Oakland A's, baby. They were in the playoffs this year. They didn't go real far, but that's a start. Anyway, thanks for keeping the faith. It's good to know there's a couple other Ricky Henderson fans out there in the world. He is the man. He has a special place in my heart, man. I spent a lot of afternoons sitting there in left field right behind him and cheering his every move. Anyway, I will catch you later, Ricky24. I salute you. I salute Ricky himself, and we will see you next time right here on YouTube. If you're looking for trout fishing tackle, striper tackle, river salmon stuff, check out the Fish Hunt Shoot store. And if you are getting into the new lead core revolution, if you're one of those guys running lead core now, check out my lead core rod. $60 out the door. You will not find a better lead core rod anywhere. Cork grip. Awesome, beautiful. Anyway, I'm Cal Kellogg. Thanks for all the support, guys. I am signing off. I will catch you next time right here on YouTube. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.